You're in for a treat because this week, Joe and I don't have anything to talk about.
Welcome, everybody. Come on in. Edwin, hello. I apologize if I don't have a great connection. I'm in a hotel room kind of in the middle of nowhere.
You sound good, Joe.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, boss.
Don't know about that. But boy, let's just start here, can we? I don't believe your former party is going to take the ass kicking they just got and learn the lesson they should learn. I don't think they're going to mend their ways. I think they're going to double down on their corrupt BS. They're going to try and do more to make sure it doesn't happen again. And that more isn't going to be by trying to be more popular with voters. It's going to be more voter suppression. It's going to be more, trying to get in the way. Because I just think they are now beyond redemption, this crowd.
Coming from that crowd, Edwin Eisendrath, I agree with you.
Yeah.
There are actually people who think, look, who was responsible for what happened this past Tuesday? Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
It was a total repudiation of Donald Trump. Democrats won everywhere. They won by a lot everywhere. Donald Trump is solely responsible for what happened. Yet, Edwin, not one Republican will say that publicly.
No, by the way,
Edwin, they're tied to him. They're tied to him forever.
Totally right. And it's going to cost them. I want to amend what you said just a little tiny bit because you're not.
What word you're going to jump on?
Go ahead.
Solely.
No.
Oh.
No, you said Democrats won everywhere. They won everywhere. You're just not used to it yet. We won everywhere. You're in the tent, man.
All right. A new rule, my friend.
Yeah.
Every time I forget about that, I owe you lunch or breakfast somewhere in Chicago. Thank you for catching me.
Yeah. We won everywhere.
My new political party
yep.
won everywhere by a lot. Edwin Eisendrath, I know you know this. Every single county in the state of Virginia moved blue.
Yep.
Almost every single county in New Jersey did the same. Incredible.
Well, and some of the deep red counties in Ohio, the land that democracy forgot, moved. I mean, that everything's in play now. I mean, the Senate's in play, all kinds of things are in play that weren't before, provided that we do not take our foot off the pedal. We have to be as clear about, look, just since we won, I'd love to talk about that election, nonstop. But since then, the nice judge in Chicago has once again slammed the ICE operation here, saying on top of everything else, why are you lying in court? And Jeanine Pirro was unable to win a not a felony conviction, a misdemeanor. Like this is the first prosecutor who ever herself got indicted by a ham sandwich. I mean, it's just incredible how incompetent they are. And maybe Mamdani is right. The rich and powerful have no business with power because, buy a table in the new ballroom, get a government contract. It's just disgusting.
And I want to know if you agree with me, partner, on this. I went after Hakeem Jeffries late Tuesday night, the minority leader in the House.
Yep.
Because he put out a post that said, enough with the premature obituaries of the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party is back, he said. To which I said respectfully, Mr. Minority Leader, bullshit. The Democratic Party had nothing to do with what happened Tuesday. Democratic voters did. Pissed off voters did. The resistance did. Not you, the party. You, the party, man, you're playing catch up.
Well, so here's where I disagree with you, and here's where I agree with you. The leadership, particularly the older leadership that comes from New York, that's sitting in Congress, is playing catch up. But what the Democratic Party is isn't them. What the Democratic Party is that mass of people who are out. I mean, if it's because that mass of people that those guys out there didn't cave on the on a continuing resolution. We define our party differently. It's not top down; it's bottom up, and the bottom is rising. It's like those hearts. Thank you guys for those hearts.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Pound,
Yep.
pound those hearts.
Yeah.
And Edwin, the smooth diplomat you are, you just brought Hakeem and I together because we were going after each other. So I appreciate that.
Well, I'm not excusing him. I think his decision making was a day late, a dollar short. Same with Chuck Schumer. But they don't represent. They have a big job. They have an important job, but it's not the party. The party is in right now. The party's in our streets. The party's pushing the politicians. And that's what a big tent really is. It's crazy. It's lots of people. These organized guys, they got to go out and raise money. They got to do the kind of things that party leaders do. And the rest of us are like, yeah, okay, great. Go do your job. Do your job. But we are going to tell you where to go.
I agree with all of that. It's the people listening to us right now who did what needed to be done Tuesday. And even if you buy the notion of we're all the Democratic Party, Edwin, we're not back yet, right?
We have a long way to go.
The House, the Senate, and the White House. These are not midterms. Virginia, New Jersey are blue states. New York City's blue. Okay, let's slow down. We needed a really good night. But here's the other thing, Edwin. So many of the pissed off voters, Democrats who went out Tuesday, yeah, they're pissed off at Trump and everything he's doing. They're also pissed off at their own party for not understanding this moment. I saw a poll somewhere. The voters out there who are dissatisfied in both parties, they voted overwhelmingly Democratic on Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's still a lot of disappointment in my new political party by the grassroots folks.
There's still, I view that as opportunity now. That's opportunity. The door is open to win these guys back, and we have to earn it. We have to do it, and we have to deliver. I mean, I blame no one for being pissed off at politics in America right now. Right? It's been dysfunctional for a long time. And you talk to young people and they have no idea about the country you and I grew up in. None. Right? None, because they've just seen this chaos and this dysfunction. So I don't blame people for not warming to either party. But there's an opportunity now. And we have to deliver. We really have to deliver on the promises. We have to fight hard to make people's lives better. Every day, just focus on, like, the people who sent you there, make their lives better. It's not that complicated. It's work for sure, but that's what you have to focus on.
I would like the Democratic Party, your party, my new party, to kind of immediately remember that this is a big, fucking politically diverse country. Zoran Mamdani, God bless him, Edwin. He couldn't win in South Carolina. Joe Walsh, New Democrat, I couldn't win in New York City. We've got to embrace Abigail Spanberger and Zoran Mamdani, and understand that different Democrats are needed to win in different places in this country.
And I think that we've got that message. And I think that the trick is going to be when your old party says, "Oh, those Democrats are all Zoran Mamdani," for us to say, no, we're not all Zoran Mamdani, but we welcome him, and we welcome Abigail Spanberger, and we welcome Joe Walsh. We are a big tent party, and you guys are a narrow little fascist.
It's coming.
Crap.
Edwin, you know it's coming. You are all Mamdani, all of us. How do we refute that?
Well, we refute it with the truth. That's for the fun part. He won one election. Abigail Spanberger won one. New Jersey, right across the river. She's quite different.
Yeah.
And we won the public something commission in Georgia. We won those seats.
Statewide, two statewide seats.
Statewide seats in Georgia. they can continue to say stuff that's nonsense and irrelevant, and Americans have woken up. I mean, just look at the ads in Virginia. Like half of them were trans ads, right?
Yeah.
Because it used to work. Now people are like, yeah, no, we have lives, we have real worries. Like, take this stuff and put it away. I think your party has won some fights that way in your old party in the past, and they're fighting the same old battle. And people have woke up. I mean, nobody believes Donald Trump anymore. Like, oh, prices are down. Really, Donald? But like, really?
He said he said that again today.
Yeah.
Prices are down.
Really?
Edwin, even that California redistricting initiative, I mean, overwhelmingly won.
And by the way,
Um,
like by a margin far bigger than Gavin Newsom's approval rating in the state. So it wasn't just like people who support him who were doing this. I think Californians said, we don't like gerrymandering, but one time, temporarily, to meet a national need, we're going to step up. And oh, by the way, it helps that the ballot says this is in response to what those assholes in Texas did, which is, it said Texas on the ballot. That gets your blood flowing.
for my expert, for the folks listening to us right now, do you traditionally think that these off-year elections bode well for the midterms?
No, I think they have nothing to do with it. I think they're one off.
Good.
I'm not. You know what? I think Americans hate Donald Trump. I think he's got his core that loves him, but there is no middle ground. If you're not that core that loves him, everybody else hates him, and that's a lot of people. And that will have an impact, provided we step up and do what needs to be done and field great candidates and run good campaigns and run everywhere and run aggressively. We cannot sit around anymore and let the Republicans tell American who Democrats are. Like, no,
No,
they don't
that's right.
they don't
No,
do that anymore.
Edwin, that's so right. And even though a guy like Zoran Mamdani and me disagree on a hell of a lot of issues, the guy is fearless and he's unafraid. And we need all of our candidates to be that way. I love that about him.
I do too, and charming. A great campaigner, right? We'll see. I mean, New York's a tough city. I love New York. I hope he's successful. I really do, really do. And I think as a Jewish guy, I think the panic among some Jews is not warranted at all and out of place. And the time, of course, will tell. But
My brother, I've never asked you this, my Jewish brother. I'm married to a lovely Jewish wife. I love and adore Israel. I worry, my friend, that my new political party, especially young Democrats, are not pro-Israel. I worry about that. Talk to me about that.
yeah, I talk to a lot of young people, and they are not pro-Israel, but they are not. But they're not. But they assume Israel will always be there. They're not. It's a different generation. It's not like being. If you weren't pro-Israel when I was young, that meant you thought the state shouldn't exist. It should be wiped off. They just don't like what happened in Gaza. They really do not like it. They thought it was excessive and dangerous, and the treatment of the Palestinians is unconscionable. And they want two states. They don't want one state. They're not in a throw them out. So, okay, there should be two states. That's just his American policy for the last 50 years.
But you don't think young people, even if they're anti-Israel, they don't believe Israel shouldn't exist?
No, they assume it's there. They just don't want the. I mean, what happened in Gaza taught another generation what war is. I mean, there's war all the time. They didn't pay attention to it in Sudan. They didn't pay attention. But this one they saw, and war is awful. And they saw this. It taught another generation what people a little older than you and me learned in Vietnam. Right, war is a terrible thing, and they learned it, and they saw it, and they didn't like what they saw. I mean, it's really interesting. Our country was at war for 20 years, but we didn't see it.
Do you concur with me? My last question on this topic. Because I love the Middle East and I love Israel. And if I ever retire and leave the country, I'm going to live in Israel. Do you agree with me that young people in this country generally are ignorant, I say that respectfully, of the history of the Middle East?
Young people, middle-aged people, old
Thank
people.
you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah.
I lived there. I worked there. I mean, I love Beirut. Beirut
Yeah.
is Arab Tel Aviv. I mean, it's just and
Yeah.
beautiful, and the people are great. I worked in Ramallah in Palestine. I've spent my relatives who live in Israel. And, I mean, it's a fascinating, difficult region of the world. And if they could have two states and get along, the Israelis and the Palestinians together could do great things, as opposed to teach the world more ways to, kill each other.
We'll
Speaking of killing each other, we Americans have got to tell our president that it's not okay for him to be on the wrong side in Ukraine. It's getting more and more dangerous there. Russia is taking more and more ground there, and all the time Donald Trump is saying, "Oh, I'm not happy with Vladimir." You know what? I bet he's preparing this Kremlin-like ball just to welcome him and to be the first guest in that ballroom. It looks like the Kremlin.
It's amazing we don't talk about Ukraine anymore. We haven't, for not you and I, but generally as a people, we're not talking about that war much anymore. I don't think Trump cares that much about it, sadly, at all. And I'm very, to me, Edwin, this has always been fairly simple. I don't think Trump is on Ukraine's side. I think he's enamored of Putin. He's on Russia's side. But you're right. It's tragic because Ukraine is barely hanging on right now.
Barely hanging on, bravely and barely hanging on. And look, and Americans are on Ukraine's side. Our president switched sides in a war. He left us to join the other side in a war. This is unheard of and awful.
Well, Edwin, think about it. To your point, the United States president is not on the side of the free world. I mean, that's stunning.
Right. And by the way,
I say,
yeah,
and I say often when I do media over there, I tell our friends in Europe, I'm sorry, guys, he's not with you for the next 3.5 years. You're on your own.
yeah.
I believe that.
Well, and now here is where the hypocrisy of your former party just sings like an opera soprano. They're just out there saying we bang the table on freedom around the world, and America's the reason we have our military is to protect us from that. And now they're like, yeah, no, we didn't mean it. We want to instead show you what we've got by blowing up boats in the Caribbean.
So
What?
I would be remiss, my friend, because you're the sunny guy, I'm the dark guy. Look, Tuesday to me showed that there shouldn't be a blue wave in the midterms. It should be a blue tsunami. It should be something bigger than what sent me to Congress in 2010. But I mean this, my friend. The guy in the White House and his party are going to do everything to fuck with that and cheat with that and mess with that election. And so we have to be, my friend Michael Steele on MSNBC said, hey, look, Republicans had a bad night, but they have a plan B. They're going to try to rig and stop and do whatever they can to the midterms. We've got to be ready for that.
Well, so I agree with you. I mean, I don't I'm sorry, the sunny side of me isn't, a blind side. I totally agree.
Yeah.
But I think we can be ready. And this is where I'm hopeful. I mean, I look at the attack on this city that's ongoing, and the city is not bowing down. People are saying, bring it on, baby. We're going to come out of our houses. We're going to, you got your weapons. You're here fully armed in your camo gear. You're pointing guns at moms with children, for God's sake. And we are standing there saying, go away.
Hey, Edwin, to your point, your city, I thought I saw that those thugs went into a daycare center yesterday, grabbed a teacher. But then to your point, Edwin, last night there were hundreds of Chicagoans out on the street protesting what they did.
Yep. This isn't organized, no, they're not getting the memo from Soros or the check, right? This is just people running out of their houses saying, this is not who we are. This is not who we will ever be. You are not going to push us there. And so that gives me hope that when he tries to do it with our elections, Americans are going to say, now, wait a minute, buddy. You can claim they're fraudulent after we cast our vote and after all the votes are counted. And you can say that and we can litigate it, but you're not going to stop us from voting and you're not going to stop us from counting those votes. And, they can try, but that they want the White House surrounded by 10 million people. That really,
Yeah.
you know,
I, 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 uh, I said early, and I wasn't alone, what he's doing on the streets with ICE, I think more than any other issue, is going to cause Republicans to get pounded next year. Because as you and I've talked about, Edwin, it's engaging everyday people, and everyday people are constantly seeing these videos.
it's tough. They
And
can't.
you said it. You said it 4 minutes ago. You say this a lot, and I do. This is not who we are.
Not who we
This
are.
is not who we are. People feel that, my friend.
But something else, I totally agree, and I don't want to lose track of that. It's, as you can see, it's my city. It matters a lot to me. But next week, next week, they're going to slow planes at O'Hare and at LaGuardia, LAX, not at Dallas Fort Worth, but they're going to do it right. They're going to politically slow down a bunch of airports in America. Guess what? Commuters, even ones in Dallas, are going to be affected by a slowdown at O'Hare. So, like, this is insanity, and they're doing it. Why? Why? Because they want to cut everybody's healthcare costs so much that they're willing to put everybody through this torture, or because they don't want to swear in somebody because of the Epstein files, so they're going to stay out and like in the witness protection program where your former colleagues are. It's just absolutely nuts. So I think a lot of reasons why we should have a blue tsunami.
Yeah. Some of the inside baseball I know is I've heard from some of my former Republican colleagues privately, Edwin, they're freaking panicked about this shutdown now.
Yeah, they
They're
should
panicked. Yeah.
panic. They took the time to violate the Hatch Act, to have all their screens say blame the Democrats, and like not. I mean that's really dumb. You spend 40 years saying the other party loves government and we hate it, and then in 2 minutes you can blame them for shutting it down.
And again, I get mad at the American people a lot. They're not stupid. They
No,
know, you and I know, they know that there is a president. All the president has to do is put the top 8 congressional leaders in a freaking room in the White House, lock them up for an afternoon, and this thing's over. Donald Trump has never lifted a finger as the leader to end this shutdown. We see that. We know that.
well, because he got that counsel from Darth Vader, Russ Vought, to say leave it shut for a while so I can do my thing, right? And
Do you
so he
know? Do you know? Do you know Russ Vought and I used to be friends way back in the day? The old Joe Walsh. Don't get mad at me. We used to be
I'm not mad.
friends.
I like something happened to a lot of people that
Yeah.
radicalized them really terribly.
Yeah.
You somehow like had an immunity pill, but the rest of them they weren't completely nuts, and now they've gone into we just have to end this democracy and bring everybody to church or my church, whatever it is they think.
Their church. Yeah,
Yeah,
their church. You're right. No, I'll tell you what. Let me ask you this though. How long? I keep asking you this. How long are they going to be in Chicago? Do we? This
right.
is really extended.
I mean, ICE and CPB don't have a time. It's not like the National Guard, and you get 30 days. They can be here as long as Trump wants them. I mean, they have to pretend that Chicago is on the border,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is of
Yeah.
course, but we know that Trump can't read a map. So, but Chicago is not exactly on the border. Lake Michigan is 400 miles long. Yeah,
They're in trouble. Republicans are. My God, Edwin, they've begun talking about affordability. They're starting to talk.
and Marjorie Taylor Greene has like said, look, I'm going to make it safe for you guys to leave this madness. Which who'd have thought it?
Marjorie Taylor Greene is pissed off because she wanted to run statewide in Georgia. Trump forced her to stand down.
Yep.
And now she's flexing her muscles, and there's a part of her that would love to run for president in 28. So she's going to separate herself a little bit.
Well, that makes it safe for others to do it, uh, in some way. I mean, she doesn't need his fundraising, I guess, but it's, I mean, they're all so terrible. I mean, every company that's paid for the ballroom and then gotten their contracts, it just looks so terrible. And don't they know that someday we will restore the rule of law and they will be held to account? Bribery is bribery, and only Trump is immune from prosecution. He can't pardon the whole country. Like, okay, anybody who
Yeah, and I
time in the
just
last 4 years, as long as they're white, they get a pet pardon. You can't do that.
this is a pet peeve of mine. That's not his house. It's our house. It's a public house. I don't think, Edwin, I even asked you this. I don't think private money should ever go to doing anything in that house. That's our house. It should always be public money as far as I'm concerned.
Look, I tried to make a list of the things that I would call them if I had a chance. Corrupt, yep. Out of
Yeah.
touch, like dishonest. Talk about elite in that golden ballroom with the people.
Yeah.
I mean, the real elites in the country are the ones playing footsie in that ballroom, not the ones who are out there voting, saying we've had it with you. Cruel. Of course not. This is fundamentally America's house, the people's house. Yes, we should pay for it. Absolutely. I mean, you know what? They can raise some private money for some drapes, I suppose, but not this. And there has to be a process where we talk about what do we want the building to look like. The Kremlin, we don't want it to look like the Kremlin.
Exactly. And we will get into this as we continue our conversations. But when our new party assumes control, I often think there's got to be a fine line, maybe not. The people who are doing the damage they're doing now, there has to be accountability. There has to be accountability when Democrats assume power again.
I agree with you. The failure to hold anybody accountable last time opened the door to this, but the failure to hold people accountable in 2008 for the financial crisis opened the door for some.
Yeah.
I mean, we just have to say to the most powerful people in the country, look, if you did the crime, do the time, like everybody else. I mean, that's part of why everybody wants the Epstein files released. Like, done with it. Like, you don't get to hide anymore. I mean, it would
By
be
the way, bad news is
ballroom, on opening night, we kept open the files and they're all in that ballroom. Wouldn't that be something?
Well, I again, if I became president in January of 29, I'm tearing that fucking thing down. And I think whoever the nominee is should. There are rumors afoot, Edwin, that one Republican in the House, they've gotten to fold on the Epstein thing, and he may pull his vote. And then immediately Mike Johnson would swear in that Democratic Congresswoman because they're still one vote shy. Just terrible stuff.
Here. And Americans, again, aren't stupid. We aren't stupid.
Yeah.
We make mistakes. God knows, like everybody else, but we're not idiots. And I mean, that's why I always hated the book "What's the Matter with Kansas," because nothing's the matter with Kansas.
Yeah.
It's just when you sit like some reporters do, way above, and you look down from the golden, the throne in the sky.
Yeah.
People are like, no, sorry, buddy, we live here. This is not.
Yeah. So a good day this week we all had. So enjoy it. But man, let's not take our foot off the gas. We got a lot to do.
Yeah. And offense, please. Offense.
Yes.
Like that. Always. Don't let them throw you off and tell you you're somebody you're not. And then spend your time defending that. That's BS. We've learned. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Amen. Amen. Amen, my brother. As always, love you.
Talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.